York's very own muscle building coaches, Anthony Bevilaqua and Pete Kacharian, proudly present to you New York Muscle Radio.
Welcome everyone to New York Muscle Radio episode 171. This is your co-host Big Pete Kacharian today, taking the lead for my co-host and your host, Anthony Bevilaqua. Today this is a little bit of a different podcast for you guys, so naturally I'm hosting it or leading it, however you want to put it, but we're kind of just going to roll with this one today. There's no structure, there's no rhyme or reason, and we're going to keep it kind of fresh for you guys, but we're going to bring the same New York Muscle Radio spirit, information, entertainment, and infotainment, if you want to call it that, for you guys. So let me introduce my co-host today, Anthony Bevilaqua. What's up, Anthony? What's going on today?
I was waiting for the superlative there. What's up, big guy? Like, I gave you a nickname. I was just like, oh, this is my chance to get a nickname.
I'm going to call you Strongman. Strongman Anthony Bevilaqua. Anthony Strong.
Anthony Strong. Wow. Yeah, so we decided to change things up for you guys a little bit here. We don't want this podcast to get a little stale, so we're just changing it up today. We're going to do kind of an off-the-cuff podcast, and we're just going to talk fitness, bodybuilding, and whatnot. And it's going to be one of those episodes today, but we'll always give out good information. So again, guys, just be on the listen for this one because this is going to be good. We're going to cover a whole bunch of topics, as I'm sure we will rant. But guys, don't forget to head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked, JAKKED, for our free 12-week training program. Yes, that is a free 12-week program for you, our gift to you for being a nice, loyal listener. And if you're a new listener, well, there you go. You got a new program. Enjoy it because it does work. Get jacked. Big Pete, man, what's up, man? You got to bring a little more energy to the podcast. I think everyone fell asleep with that little intro.
Yeah, you think so, man? It was my first go at it, so I guess we'll rehearse for the next one and we'll make sure it comes out perfect. But I'm not really a very over-the-top, energetic type guy. I'm more of a laid-back type person, and I think our listeners know that, so I'm sure they'll forgive me for that one. But yeah, man, it's just a typical Sunday night for me right now, and I like the idea. We're going to keep this one a little fresh and kind of just have a conversation. I'm going to talk to you. You're going to talk to me, and we're just going to go over normal stuff that we might have a discussion on. And I think a lot of people will appreciate that. At least I know that a lot of the stuff, podcasts and information stuff that's put out there, I kind of appreciate sometimes just a raw conversation between people instead of everyone trying to put on a show or put on a podcast or whatever it is. Sometimes just the raw content is the best.
I don't know if you're baiting me by saying the word raw, so I'm not gonna take your joke, man. I'm not gonna take the bait, man.
Hey, listen, that's you. You're a baiter a lot. I don't really do that too much.
That's look, we switched seats for one day, and you're already trying to bait me.
Yes, I have to take on the full Anthony Bevilaqua presentation, and that includes baiting, that includes cutting people off, that includes being arrogant, and all host of all things.
Yeah, I guess I should just go break up with my wife, right? And that'd be you?
Yeah, exactly. We'll fit right in. We'll flip flop. You could come live at my house. I'll go move over by yours, and maybe I'll start squatting 500-600 pounds, and you'll just go and do bicep curls and call it a day.
Hey, that would be an easy life.
Anyway, it's not easy as you think.
So I want to actually start this off with a shout out because on the I think it was the last 2 podcasts ago, we talked about the military diet. Do you remember like the 3-day diet in order for you to lose 10 pounds?
Yes.
And we laughed at it and said it was gimmicky. And then you actually asked me on the podcast why it's called the military diet. Well, I'm going to shout out Allison Rice. She wrote me a message and she said it's called the military diet because in the military you need to make weight. If you can't make weight, then you can get in trouble or kicked out. A lot of the times they only give you 3 days to get your weight down. So it's basically a fast. She said her husband never had to do it, but we know plenty who have. And the military standards of fitness are very old school. So that's why it's called the military diet. So I thought that was a cool, fun fact. So shout out to Allison. Thank you for messaging me that information because I wouldn't have guessed that was why.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense now.
I've actually heard that before, that they do only give you 3 days to drop weight. And it is something ridiculous like 10 pounds.
Yeah, you know what it is because they're not really concerned with optimal health and fitness. It's kind of more of just a get this shit done type attitude that they have, which is not a bad way to go about it. But yeah, if you think you're gonna go in the military and start practicing optimal strength training and body fat changing programs. Like, that's not what you're going to get there. You know, it's all about just getting work done.
Yeah, I had a client once. He was in the military, and he was a Marine actually. He said that he even said it is like it's just height to weight. Everything is height to weight with them. They don't give a shit about body fat. He goes, I would have to literally almost tie people to the treadmills in order for them to just stay on there and lose weight because they have to make weight or they get kicked out. It's crazy. It's something so old school. They really need to change that height to weight ratio thing.
Yeah, and I actually had a friend that was in the Army, and, you know, I kind of spoke to him about a lot of the workouts and stuff they were doing there, and he's like, yeah, man, it's just running, push-ups, and pull-ups. And I'm like, so when do you do it? He's like, every day. Like, that's what we do.
Yeah, they don't care about biceps in the Army, Pete.
No, there's no bicep day, there's no arm day, there's no pump work, there's no powerlifting. It's just, listen, man, just move. Just keep moving.
Yeah, because so like that, like we said, the height to weight thing. But man, what's going on with you today? I got to tell you. So I've been having my refeed days on Saturday and Sunday, and man, it does feel good. I've been feeling so flat and just drawn. I'm not dieting anymore. I'm reverse dieting, but we're still trying to keep leanness, still adding back in calories very slowly. And today I had IHOP, man. I've been craving IHOP, some pancakes. So I had a huge meal from there. I had 4 pancakes, double blueberry. And no syrup because those pancakes have like 112 carbs. And then they have like an open, like a BLT type of a sandwich, but it has like carved turkey on it. So it was turkey, bacon, and like cheese and mayo, whatever. But I didn't get the mayo or the cheese. So it's basically just turkey, lettuce, tomato, bacon on bread. Man, it was so good. I felt so good after that meal. Usually if I eat something like that, and I was able to finish the whole thing actually. So after I ate the whole thing, I was like, oh God, I'm going to be feeling this. Dude, I felt so good. I really did. I felt like I woke up. My wife ate too, and she was like so full. She's like, oh, that was not a good idea to eat that much food. But I felt really good, man. I walked out of it. I was like, wow, I should go lift now. It's amazing what a little bit of carbs do.
That's how you know you're dieting, man, when you feel like that and you could eat that amount of food and just feel good after. You know, right now, if I were to do that, I'd be sitting in the chair saying my stomach's killing me, which in fact it kind of is right now because I'm still pounding down about 4,000 calories a day right now. And, you know, if I go for high carbs, low carbs, my body doesn't even care. It's like, listen, we've had so much glycogen in the body that, you know, if you want to go a couple of days without it, we'll be okay, you know? So, yeah, I mean, that's the difference. That's when, you know that you're dieting. And that's when you know you're dieting efficiently because you should have days like that. If, you know, people always say, oh, I'm dieting on X amount of carbs and I don't have to go too low. If you still feel fine, though, you're probably not burning through body fat. You know, even if you're eating 300 grams of carbs and dieting, if you're losing body fat, you're going to feel hungry on 300 grams of carbs, you know? So people hear that number and they're like, you know, oh, that must be nice, 300. I have to diet on 150. You know, for some people, they're going to feel the exact same on 300 as you will on 150. So it's all relative. And if you're eating the right macronutrients, you're going to feel it regardless of how many that is.
Yeah, but man, I'm actually surprised. I actually felt it like instantly. Like I had it. I walked, like we ate, whatever, we finished, sat, you know, walked out, and I felt so good instantly. That hasn't happened in a long time. So I was like, well, I don't know. I guess I needed more carbs than what I was supposed to eat. I mean, that was a huge amount of carbs. According to my Fitness Pal and IHOP's nutrition calories, which I doubt it's 100% accurate. It was like almost like 160 carbs I walked out with. And I was like, I don't know if that's 100% accurate. But
yeah,
still,
there's always going to be a little margin of error.
So figure anywhere between 150 and 120. So I don't know. I can normally eat that, but I don't know. I felt so good when I walked out of it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
Some days you just need it. Some days you just need it, and it's not a bad thing when you need it to just, you know, just to have it. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's a time and place for refeeds, but sometimes you got to be a little more, instinctive about it. And especially when you need it, there's nothing wrong with taking it that day. You know, if you had, let's just say you had it planned a different day, and then just switching it around. Because some days you will need it more than others, and it's not a bad thing to do it when you need it.
Exactly. So what did you make, man? You complained before you were on this. I just put meat on. What did you make? What did you just eat?
I was making ground beef. So I was making ground beef. I made some asparagus because we didn't have tilapia.
Is that the
today.
Ground beef from the from the Trader Joe's with we went, the video that we did?
Yes. So yeah, we picked up some food at Trader Joe's and we made a YouTube video out of it for everybody who wants to see what Big Pete gets from Trader Joe's. And 96 lean ground beef is definitely on the grocery list, and that usually takes up at least one meal a day is ground beef. So today it was close to my last meal. I'm gonna have a shake before I go to bed, and then that's gonna be it. But I had to make my last meal and finish off some of the macros for today.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. So ground beef and asparagus. So would you have a low carb meal?
I had ground beef, asparagus, and a pretzel bagel to go with it, actually, because I didn't feel like cooking anything else, to be honest with you. And a pretzel bagel was easy and convenient, and that's the only reason that a pretzel bagel was in there, because I needed some extra carbs, and just straight convenience there. Because
you introduced me to those pretzel bagels, man. Those things are so good. For those of you who
them.
haven't had a pretzel bagel, man, you gotta get them. They're great.
Yeah, they really are, and they go pretty good with anything. Actually, I put cream cheese on them. Like I said, I'll eat ground beef on it. Actually,
I haven't plain, and they're really good with Nutella. Actually,
yeah. If you go to some burger joints, they'll actually they'll give you a pretzel bagel too. Pretzel roll actually. Yeah, on the bun, which goes really good actually. So it's a good combo.
I'm playing with this. My friend gave it to me in one of those fidget spinner things that you literally put in your hand and you spin it around. I really don't understand what this thing's supposed to do, but I don't think it's working because I'm literally spinning it and fidgeting my leg. Is that
I
not
can
supposed
see
to
that
work?
you're rocking back and forth on the screen right now.
Am I? I'm rocking?
You're rocking. You're going left and right, left and right. You're moving like Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah. It's from my leg. I didn't notice I did that.
Yeah, your whole upper body's moving, yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Wow, that's really bad, huh? That looks funny on video. No, yeah, but I think, aren't you not supposed to be fidgeting if you're spinning the thing?
I don't know. I haven't used that thing, but I guess that's what it's for, is to keep you from fidgeting, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Apparently it's not working.
Yeah, apparently not. I kind of stole it from my friend. He had it in his car. I'm like, I'm taking this.
Yeah, that sounds like
I was just having
steal
fun with it in the car, and I was like, I'm taking this thing.
Yeah, just steal it, man.
It's a pretty cool thing. Can you imagine this thing? I think they're selling for like 20, like some places $10 to $20. Can you imagine the person who invented this thing?
Yeah, he's probably rich somewhere fidgeting with something else right now.
Yeah, you know what we had as a kid? Yo-yos. That's what this thing reminds me of. Yo-yo. Used to take the yo-yo apart, the brains. Do you remember that? Or you were not into yo-yos?
I was into yo-yos. Yeah, I remember.
Or a yo-yo.
Yeah. I remember yo-yos, man. What were the cool ones called when they came out with them? The ones that would hang. Remember the ones that would hang? You could do the tricks with them.
With the brains. That's what I'm saying.
That's what it was. The brain.
Brains.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it was called. But I don't remember.
There was a certain name for those yo-yos. You could hang. And you yo-yoed it.
Do all the tricks.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do so many. Walk the dog.
Walk the dog. Yeah. Oh man, the dumb shit that used to entertain us, man. I'll tell you.
I know. I don't know, man. I'm feeling a little burnt out today. That's why I was like, we have to off cuff this. I have to kind of reset the button here. Feeling a little burnt out, man. I feel like we've covered so much stuff, and we have a whole bunch of topics to talk about. So we're not short for topics, but I want to keep things fresh. I don't want everyone to get bored listening to this, and I don't know. We got to change it up, man. We gotta have a different style here.
Yeah, it's funny. It's definitely good to keep things just just keep them fresh like that and just do whatever. I remember one time actually, I had a professor in college, and we were doing. I forget. He was actually my sex education professor, which was ironic, but it was funny. He used to
Did he make you stay after class?
He used to. Yeah, he used to do the lectures or whatever. Every day it was like kind of like, the syllabus. Today we're doing this, today we're doing this. And then like one day he sat in front of the classroom and he goes, I don't fucking feel like talking about this today. Let's talk about something else today. And it was probably like one of the most entertaining classes.
Like that too?
Yeah, he just straight up, he sat on the desk. He's like, he pulled out the slideshow and he's like, he started reading off the thing and he's like, so today we're going to talk about this. And then he sat there and kind of just looked at us. He goes, I don't fucking feel like talking about this today. He's like, let's talk about something else. He's like, what's new? And like, just started having a conversation with everybody in the class. And like, it's probably one of the most engaging classes that we had the whole year. So yeah, sometimes you got to just break from whatever it is you're trying to do and just roll with it. And I think it's good too. So I'm sure people listening to this right now too are going to get some, they're going to still get some information out of it, but I think it's going to be more of a practical standpoint, because a lot of people ask us so much stuff about what we do in day-to-day life with like, now Pete, how do you calculate this macro if you go out to eat or if you go out to drink or whatever, how do you do it? So I think sometimes just getting like a first-hand view of what we do or a bird's eye view of what we do is helpful to some people because a lot of people want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, the other thing too, which is good, that's why we're sharing this with you. With the reason why we're saying we're burnt out a little bit, not burnt out, maybe that's the wrong word, but we want to keep things fresh. We just don't want you guys to get bored. The reason why we're saying this is because, we're being real. We're not one of these people that fake it, faking it and just showing you guys that, yeah, we struggle with things too. It's not always perfect all the time. And even if it is perfect, we're always going to try to find a way to make it better. So we're just trying to make this better because we want to give as much information to as many people as we can. So that's why I was just like, you know what, let's just talk today, man. Let's just keep it fresh. let's talk, let's make some jokes, and let's go from there.
Yeah, man. So I'm curious because I know you don't like to talk about it, but now is a perfect time to talk about it. What's going on with the meat prep? What's your mindset right now? How you feeling about it? What's your goals as far as the meat? Tell me and anybody else who actually cares to listen about it. What's going on with the meat?
Do people really care to listen?
I care, man. I'm asking you. Forget everybody else. They can listen if they want.
They can hang up.
Well, they can hang up. They can call back. They can switch the channel. They can pick up another podcast that does not deliver anywhere near the information that we do.
Yeah, meat prep is going good, man. I got a couple weeks left. I'm hitting my numbers. I have nothing exciting to talk about with that.
Well,
honestly, listen, like I told you the last time on the podcast, every day with training is just another day for me, and the meat is just another day. That's how I look at it. So there's nothing to discuss. Everything's going good.
So we know the ultimate goal would be the Arnold. Is that the case still?
Yeah, that's always been the goal.
Okay, so then what is there anything beyond that? So is it just let's say you do make it to the Arnold. Let's say you do your first meet at the Arnold, you don't win the Arnold. Are you going to keep doing it till you win the Arnold? Is that going to be the next step? I
don't know. I haven't thought of it yet. I didn't really make a big long-term picture. So Nationals this year is in Orlando, which is just so cool. So I'm excited to go to Orlando and compete there. That's one. Two, if I make the Arnold from Orlando, then obviously I'm going to train for the Arnold, obviously, duh. I'm going to compete in the Arnold. And then after that, I plan on taking a little break. If I don't make the Arnold, I'm going to take a little break.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's just say in some type of scenario where you make the Arnold, you end up winning the Arnold. What's the next step?
I don't know. That is a good point. But I don't think that would happen, man. I'd have to
No. Don't get that in your head. Let's just say that that's the exact scenario that happens. Now, what do? Do you keep pushing for the next step, or?
Well, yeah, I would have to. I think the next thing from there is Worlds. I never looked that far ahead, but yeah, I think the next step is Worlds, and then I would compete there. But again, like I said, man, that the probability of that happening is, highly unlikely to do that. To win the Arnold, you know how hard that is?
No,
man?
I understand that, but I'm just looking at the mindset. So essentially, what you're trying to do is go as far as humanly possible as you can. Because some people doing like that, like, okay, my goal, my dream is I just want to compete at the Arnold, and then after I do that, I'll retire. Some people
I'll hang up my
some people it's like, Rocky, like I just want to go, I just want to go toe to toe with him, and when that bell rings, still be standing. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo, Father, come on.
He didn't necessarily want to win. He said, as long as I can just prove that I can go the distance with him, that's it. And some people have that goal. A lot of bodybuilders have the goal. I just want to turn pro. Once I turn pro, I'm happy I got my pro card. I can retire happy. So everyone's got a different mindset, but I guess that's not where your mind is. You're trying to go as far as possible.
Yeah, like I said, and I don't think too far ahead. I don't know if that's a problem or a good thing, but I definitely don't think too far ahead. I'm just focusing on the one, in order to see how far you've come, you got to just look at the first step in front of you. So that's all I'm focusing on is the next step, the next workout, the next workout, the next workout. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm not looking too far ahead because, one, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And,
You got to make sure you're still moving in the right direction, though. So, I mean, you got to have some direction. And I think, you set a there's a pretty solid goal. So I think that's a solid enough goal where you could just keep moving towards that, then kind of reevaluate when you get there. But keep an open mind, because if that happens, you're going to have to reset a new goal. Yeah,
that's fine, but let it happen. Like I said, I don't like to plan too far ahead. That's why it's not that exciting to talk about that, man. There's nothing to say. I'm training. That's it. So just put my head down and grind forward. That's it. Grind, baby, grind. People love to hear that word.
Oh, yeah. Let's not even get into that.
Yeah. No, I don't mean that perverted.
No, I know that. I'm saying with the people with the stupid, like, motivational stuff and grinding and all this and that. Like, listen, guys, like, the stuff that you do on a day-to-day basis, you either do it because you want to do it, or you do it because, or you don't do it, if you don't want to do it. So if you're doing stuff that you hate doing, why do it? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to grind to get in shape if you don't want to. Like, listen, like, I never consider anything that I do a grind. I don't know. Even when I'm contest prepping for bodybuilding, that shit is hard. But I never say, oh, I'm grinding, I'm doing this, I'm suffering, I'm putting in the work. Like, to me, it's just, I'm doing what I'm doing because I want to. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah, you know what it is? I'm getting sick and tired of everything. I'm not saying I'm going to quit lifting or anything like that. I'm not sick of lifting. I'm not sick of like fitness. I'm just sick of everything. Like I haven't posted on social media in such a long time. You know, I just kind of, because I'm just so sick of other people. You know, you go online, you see what everyone else writes, and like I haven't even been on Facebook and Instagram that much. I really just think I'm burnt out with everybody in this industry, you know? I really am.
Understand
like, it's so
where
annoying.
you're coming from.
It's so annoying to go on and like see all these people writing. It's like, I don't even care. Like, cause sometimes it's good to take a step back and not be on the radar, you know, not be on the map. I don't have to go online and post what I'm doing. I know what I know what I did, you know?
And you know what it is too? The thing is, it's gotten so, you know, with social media and everything, it's gotten so big and blown out of proportion now that nobody does anything because they want to anymore. It's all doing it to fit the mold. You know what I mean? To fit in with the herd.
Exactly.
And, you know, I guess I'm guilty of it to some extent too over the years, because if I take a look back at what I was doing as far as with my training, my nutrition, like back in like 2011 when I was hardcore competing in bodybuilding, it was completely different than what I've been doing the last like 2 or 3 years. And a lot of that's just been because I've gotten away from my roots and what I actually enjoy doing. Like when I did that, there was no social media. There was nothing, you know, nobody was like flashing that all on the internet. I was doing it just because I wanted to do it. So I was doing it the way I wanted to do it. And more recently, I'd say maybe in the last like maybe only even 3 or 4 months, I've started to get back to that. And my training is much better. I'm enjoying it a lot more. My progress is great. And the whole process is just become fun again. You know what I mean? And I'm doing it and I'm not questioning it. I'm not dreading anything. It's all just doing it because I want to. You know, when I get ready to go to the gym, it's not like, okay, I have to do this. It's all right, I want to get to the gym and I want to do it. When I go make my meals, it's, oh, I want to do this. I'm having fun with the process and I'm getting back to doing what I originally did was enjoying it. So I think that a lot of people are getting away from that now because of all the shit that's going on with social media and everyone's trying to impress everybody. Everyone's trying to fit the mold. But it all comes down to, you know, you doing the same thing you did when you started for the same reasons. And if you're able to still do that years later, you're probably going to make even more progress because you're still enjoying the process so much more. So I'm just happy to be doing that right now for myself, honestly.
Yep. So I have a listener question today, man. And I thought this is cool because it's definitely a different off the cuff. That's why I kind of saved it for this episode. Mm-hmm. So guys, if you have a question and you'd like us to answer, you can submit it on our website, NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/listener-question, or you can call that question in 508-687-2534. So today's question. Hi guys, I listen to you guys on my commute and find your opinions interesting on most subjects. I've trained for 12 years since he's 15, and I've gained weight from 67 kilos to 95 kilos. I am 1.77 meters, by the way, and a CLO at an engineering company. I work about 55 to 60 hours a week. Background done. I have been doing some heavy lifts lately to compete in powerlifting with no gear, not even a belt. My current max is 667.5 kilos. I competed in under 93 kilo class in December and won with a bench press of 190 kilos. So here's the thing. That was a tested meet and I was clean, but I started taking Stanzol and testoviron. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's just it's testosterone, but it's just a different ester, so to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A low dose, he says, about a month ago, and my shoulder is killing me. I can't even shoulder press a clean bar without extreme pain. I did hurt it while training heavy, and now it's worse. I took a week off, and it's gotten even worse. Any advice? Maybe you've come across someone with this issue. Thanks in advance, Peter Kodzi. So thanks for the question, Peter. I mean, definitely a different question, and congrats on winning your meet. So it seems that after his meet, he decided to start taking some juice, which was fine because he didn't compete in the meet while he was taking it. So basically his shoulder is killing him. I'm assuming, based on this question, that he was injecting the steroids into his shoulder, and that's what's causing the pain. That's what I'm going to assume. Pete, what's Stanzol?
That is Winstrol, actually. So he's taking testosterone and Winstrol. And I guess I'm really confused with the question, too, to be honest with you, because he didn't say what caused the shoulder pain, but he mentioned that he was taking that stuff, so I'm assuming that's what he means. Like you said, maybe he hurt his shoulder taking it. But I'm not really sure, so I don't know how to answer that, to be honest with you.
Well, I guess let's start backwards. So yeah. If he is inserting the steroids in his shoulder, and that's what's causing the pain, maybe try switching shoulders, or maybe even try putting the juice somewhere else and see if that's the culprit for it. If that's not the case, if that's not what it was, and you hurt your shoulder, I guess from maybe benching or training, I would get it looked at from a physical therapist. I think that's probably your best bet. Definitely check it out. If it's been hurting for that long, it's kind of hard because you didn't really talk about the pain. And it says it did hurt while training, but now it's even worse. You can't even press a clean bar overhead. So you might have actually torn something. I mean, I really don't know. It's very, very hard for me to say that without having to see it. It's a really tough question to answer on a podcast. Yeah,
there's so many different things that could be causing that. And, like I said, obviously it's painful, but we don't know what type of pain you're talking about. If it's joint pain, if it's muscle pain. If it's muscle pain and it's from that, then you probably, it's possible you could have even hit a nerve. You could have, you could have gave yourself an infection. Who even knows? I mean, I'm not saying that that's the case, but there's so many different things that we have no idea how to even address it without, we don't even know what we're looking at. So my advice to him would probably be exactly what you just said. Definitely lay you off from using that stuff there. See if that clears it up. If not, you might have to take a look and see if you actually injured it in the gym, because there's a difference between you hurting yourself from taking that stuff or you actually hurt it in the gym. I'm going to assume that it's not from a gym injury. And if that's the case, then, yeah, you're going to have to just lay you off of that.
You know what, though? I'm going to give this guy credit because at least he admitted that he started taking juice. All these other guys, they'll compete in natural organizations and they'll take testosterone and all these other stuff. And I don't know. At least he admits it. And not like the typical gym guy. It's like, oh yeah, I'm eating more protein.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we're definitely not. If that's the case and that's what's hurting his shoulder, we're definitely not the best people to ask about that, because we're very, very with no experience on doing that personally to be able to say, okay, we can relate to that. So I don't know. I mean, somebody else is definitely more qualified to help you with that.
Yeah, but like I said, I give you credit for admitting it and not being one of those guys like, yeah. I just upped my protein.
Yeah,
I hate that, man.
Plenty of them. But you know what? That's how people are, and you can clearly see right through them when they're like that, and it just tells you a little bit about their character,
So wait, let's talk about so he's on a low dose of testosterone, testovirin, and Winstrol. So he's basically what will that combination do? Since you're pretty much like did the research on all this stuff, man, what does this mean? Well, what kind of a stack is that? Let's talk about this. Let's off cuff it, man. Off cuff it.
Well, I don't really, to be honest, I don't know what his goals are. I know he's competing in powerlifting, but maybe he was taking it for other reasons, not specifically for powerlifting. You know what I mean? Because he didn't say he was planning on doing another meet after that. Generally, that's more of a I'm not really too versed on what like weightlifters, powerlifters, and strongmen take to enhance their performance, because a lot of people take steroids for cosmetic purposes. But that would seem, if I had to guess, that would seem like more of a cosmetic, protocol. But anytime you throw testosterone in the mix, it's going to get you bigger. It's going to get you stronger. So it'll help you for strength and stuff like that. But I don't think that that's a typical, I could be wrong here. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think that's a typical protocol, or maybe the first protocol. Somebody looking to maximize their strength would be to go to that one. A lot of times that seems more like a typical cycle. You'll see like a kid getting ready for Memorial Day weekend on, which he might be actually doing right now because that is coming around. So it could be a host of different reasons. Maybe he even said screw powerlifting. I don't know if he said he's going to do a meet again. But people do stuff that's totally counterproductive anyway. They might take something that'll help you build muscle when they're dieting. They might help you. They might have you do something. People, who knows? I can't really say for sure what his reasoning is.
Yeah, but thank you for the question, man. We appreciate it, and hopefully we kind of answered it. I know, like you said, it's kind of a tough question for us to answer without seeing you, but hopefully we answered it. But yeah, man. So actually today I watched for the first time Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, that's a terrible movie, man.
Nah, I didn't. That was the one with them originally. I didn't think it was that bad. I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty funny.
I couldn't even make it through the movie. It was that bad.
Really? It wasn't that bad. I liked it.
Yo, you have such a cheesy sense of humor, man. If you like that, there was not one funny joke in that movie.
I mean, it was definitely cornier than the first one, but it was still funny.
I don't think I laughed once at that movie, man. It was that bad.
Really? Nah, I didn't think it was that bad.
It was almost like embarrassing to watch them. It was that bad.
Yeah, they got so old compared to, and at the end with the credits, they show like some scenes from the first one, and then that it's like, whoa, how old did they get?
And it was just like a fraction of what they had in the first one, as far as, you know, their timing with their deliveries, with the jokes, and just the overall.
Yeah, they pushed it too much.
Yeah,
it
was almost like when you see like one of the greatest athletes retire and then come back out of retirement and then just embarrass himself. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
It was
good. I
pretty
didn't think it was
bad,
that bad.
man.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It was terrible, man.
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was pretty funny. I laughed at a couple parts. I don't remember the parts off my head right now, but there definitely wasn't a lot more memorable lines, though. Like the first one, obviously, there's so many lines.
Yeah, me and you were still quoting that movie the other day. You know, it just comes up because it comes up randomly. Movies that came out that long ago. If it's that funny, it sticks with you forever. You know.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad though.
I don't know.
And actually, I watched another movie this weekend called Zero Dark 30. Did you ever hear that?
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, it came out in 2012 when my client told me. It's like How We Got Bin Laden. What a cool movie, man. If you're interested in that stuff. It was a little long, but it was really, really cool. And they show like the Navy SEALs, how they go in and, you know, Navy SEALs are sick, man. They had, you know, boom, 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 and everything's done. It's not like, you know, huge war.
Yeah.
Just in a couple bullets and done. And it's crazy.
Get in, get off, and get out, right?
Your motto. Sounds like a Saturday night, right, big guy?
Do you want to get the results you've always dreamed of? Do you want coaches that genuinely care, are professional, and get back to you in a timely manner? Do you want to be stronger, healthier, and look better naked? Then let me tell you, New York Muscle Radio is definitely your answer. Since working with them, I can hardly believe the results.
They coached me through a post-contest reverse diet and all the way through to an off-season strength program.
These two fitness geniuses have pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and in the process, I have been able to make big jumps on all of my major lifts.
In 14 weeks, I added 100 pounds to my powerlifting total and smashed my first meet.
Since working with them, I've added 55 pounds to my squat, 50 pounds to my deadlift, and 20 pounds to my bench press.
And in 12 weeks, I dropped over 10 pounds of body fat and added over 20 pounds to all my lifts.
I have never had as amazing of glutes as I have training with them. So I can say, no matter what your goals are, you're guaranteed to be stronger, healthier, and let's face it, better looking if Pete and Anthony are your coaches.
So if you are tuning in to listen and learn from the huge array of knowledge these two have, or if you want to hire them as your coaches, you will not be disappointed.
New York Muscle Radio is the best in the business.
You heard it from our New York Muscle Radio clients. Do you want to join our team and reach your fitness goals? Visit NewYorkMuscleRadio.com for all our coaching programs.
But I'll tell you what, when I'm done, my biceps are humongous. Humongous. Like that, bang!
My name is Anthony Bevilaqua, and I'm the host of New York Muscle Radio podcast. My arms have been a weak point for years. When I started training, my arms measured 11 inches. Even after many years of hardcore training, nothing would get them to grow. With the help of my co-host, Big E, we set out on a mission to gain 1 solid inch to my arms in 12 weeks.
In the greatest experiment of all.
12 weeks later, this program finally helped me get 18-inch arms. The 12-week Arm Experiment, the ultimate arm growth program, ebook, the audio book, and the workout video. Pick up your copy now on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
Hey, great coffee.
Doesn't it taste good as Fresh Perk?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
Caffeine, the world's only instant coffee that's fortified with muscle-building protein. Visit buyproteincoffee.com now.
Damn.
Nice, Pete.
What?
I saw you checking out that girl's butt.
What? I was just checking out her yoga pants.
Pete.
I was thinking you'd look really good in yoga pants.
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to check out what brand it was. Like I was looking at her form on deadlifts. They were all messed up.
Do you think she has a nicer butt than me?
Well, it definitely doesn't look like a pancake.
Did you just call my butt a pancake?
Well, I mean...
What can I do?
You gotta try New York Muscle Radio's Glutylicious program.
Glutylicious?
Yeah, you'll finally get a celebrity booty, like all the other girls following the program.
Fine, I'll do it. But don't get jealous when other guys check out my glutylicious ass.
Glutylicious, your guide to getting a celebrity booty in 12 weeks. Now available exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
What's up, New York Muscle Radio listeners? It's your co-host, Big Pete Kacharian, and I'm glad you're all listening. Put down that tilapia and asparagus. Learn how to get bigger, stronger, and leaner eating what you want. Pick up a copy of Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. But for now, let's get to the show.
What else, man? What else is going on in Pete Kacharian's world?
Man, it's been pretty quiet on my end, which is good. No drama. Like I said, just enjoying training. I'm having fun with training. Bulking, so that's always good. Not getting ready for Memorial Day weekend. I really don't care when it is, what I look like. It's just I'm doing this for me right now. And I got to be honest, my the amount of progress I've been making the last couple of months has me back, like I said, to my, I guess you could say, my old days when I was like hardcore into bodybuilding, and I've been getting back in that mindset of bodybuilding, and I'm getting the urge to start to go back into competing, and I'm just like, I gotta weigh the pros and cons of it, because I remember I just like said one day, I'm not doing this anymore, and it's funny how it always comes back around. And
like a bad girlfriend.
Yeah, and I did this a couple of times. I said in 2011, I said I'm done competing, and I meant it. I was done, and I didn't do anything until 2015. 2015, I just suddenly got the urge to compete, with like a couple weeks notice, and then I just jumped in and did a show, and I took top 5, which I was happy with that, considering there was no real prep involved. It was just, I feel like competing, let me jump back into it, and it's like I said after that, the only time I'm going to compete again in the future is if I really want to do it, and I'm going to do it on my terms. And what I mean by that is I'm going to just bring the package I want to the stage, and I'm not going to do it for any placings. I'm not going to do it for any, likes on Instagram. I'm not really going to do it for any other reason. Like I said, whatever your reason is for starting this, I got into bodybuilding after watching Pumping Iron, and I said, I want to look like those guys. I want to look like Arnold.
Yeah, but is a judge? Yeah, but then going back, is a judge actually going to tell you, oh, you've achieved it? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I stopped bodybuilding too, because I'm like, what? I mean, it's just, I guess it's the same thing for powerlifting too, but it's just like,
I like the process. I like the process of going through the whole prep and giving yourself a time limit to just bring your best physique, and then you kind of just showcase it on stage. And I'm past the point now where I could give a shit less if someone beats me because the judge says they look better. Like, that used to bother me. If I were to lose and like, oh, this guy beat me, like, I don't even care anymore about that. But for me to bring my best package to the stage or wherever it is, I think the art of competing, if you want to call it that, is just a really good way to showcase it. But yeah, there's politics involved. There's a lot of stupid shit that makes it, not worth it to some extent. But like I said, if you do it on your terms, I think that's a good way to do it. And like I said, who knows? It's coming back again. Is the funny thing, how it kind of repeats on you like that. And I started out doing bodybuilding. I did natural bodybuilding. That was always my thing until I started competing in 2009. Natural bodybuilding until 2011. I competed in like 4 shows during that time frame. And then, I got a little distracted for a while. Didn't do much. 2012, I think. Okay, so it was a break from 2012 to 2015. 2012, I did men's physique just because that was the new thing, and everyone was saying how good I was doing it. And yeah, I had some decent success with it. I competed nationally. I won a few really good. I placed top 5 at a few really good regional shows. So I took my try at nationals, and then I just said after that, screw it, because I wasn't even enjoying it. I'm just like, what is this? I think, I have nothing against people that want to compete in men's physique, but I'm just like, the amount of work that goes into it to go on stage and pose in, board shorts and smile, that wasn't my reason for doing it.
The smiling is probably the hardest part for you, right?
Oh, by far. But that's not why I do it. I didn't, like I said, I got into bodybuilding because I wanted to look like those golden era classic bodybuilders. And, I didn't really care about taking good pictures to put online or looking presentable or anything like that. Like, I was just doing it for me. I wanted to achieve that look. So I got kind of away from that for so long, and now, like I said, I'm kind of coming back to it. And if I ever did do another show, that I would probably honestly just do classic bodybuilding, because that's always been, like I said, what I would do. The only thing with that is now I'd have to, kind of step in the ring with the big boys and go up, with some very large guys. So, again, that's something that I'm not saying I'm doing or not doing, but that's where my mindset's kind of going lately. So I'm starting to get that little itch again,
Get rid of that itch, man. I don't know, man. For me, just bodybuilding in general, it's just, I don't need anyone to tell me how I look, like you said, and I don't know. I don't see it necessary to diet down that much of a time, waste that much of my life for 10 minutes on the stage. It's different with powerlifting because I'm kind of doing that anyway. Like it's something that I would have been doing anyway, and it's just, okay, I go there today and I train here today. That's kind of what it's like. With bodybuilding, it's just kind of the same idea, but it's just like for a longer period of time. The show is always in the back of your head, and I don't know. For me, it's not worth it.
You ever feel like you have unfinished business though?
Yeah, and I get that. But what are you gonna prove, man?
I gotta just stroke my ego a little bit.
Yeah, well, you want to stroke a lot of things, man. I don't know. I feel I'm very negative today, man. So maybe you shouldn't ask me this question tomorrow.
Nah, it's all right.
I feel like unplugging from everything right now.
Yeah.
I feel like quitting the podcast. Quitting.
Hey, man. Take it easy.
Take it easy. That's kind of come on. Everybody gets in that mood. No one's. I'm a pretty positive person. I'm a pretty laid back person. Nothing really bothers me. But sometimes just kind of life, and you just kind of like get in those moods. Where you're just like, just negative Nelly. That's kind of how I feel.
Hey, listen,
today.
man. Do you remember when Brandon Carter came on the podcast?
I remember. I don't know what you're referring to, but yeah.
Do you remember when he said to read the book Relentless? Did you read the book Relentless?
Of course I read the book Relentless.
So are you being a cleaner right now, or are you being a cooler?
I'm definitely being a cooler right now.
You're being a fucking cooler right now.
You know what it is, man? It's okay for someone who is a cleaner. Dude, I go 100% all the time with everything. It's okay for me to take a step back.
No. I'm giving you a hard time. It's just funny, though. But that's a good book, by the way, too. If anybody hasn't read that book, you should check it out. Tim Grover, Relentless. It's good. He talks about 3 types of people: cleaners, coolers, and closers. And basically, cleaners, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe a cleaner, but basically, you don't want to be a cleaner. Cleaners don't get shit done. Closers, they get shit done, but only when it's on the line. And then cleaners, what is it? Cleaners or coolers?
I was just gonna say you have it backwards, man. Coolers is like the loser people. That's
coolers
you.
are loser. They don't get shit done.
Yeah.
Closers are good, but they only get it done when they're on the line. Cleaners just get shit done all the time.
So wait, man. So hold on. Let's talk about this for a second. So if you're feeling burnt out, right? I don't know if burnt out's the right word. I'm just feeling negative. I'm just feeling a little down in the dumps. And I think it's happened. I'm gonna turn 30, man, the end of the month, and you just kind of question. For me, anyway, just kind of question everything right now. I'm in that questioning everything phase in my life right now. It's like, why am I doing this? Why am I on a podcast? Why do I have a podcast? It's like I kind of have to refresh my mind on why I'm doing this. All, why do I want to compete in powerlifting? And then you have like the what ifs also that kind of play in your mind. And I think it's because my birthday's coming up, and I just really have a hard time with 30, man. I really am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it brings up a lot of questions in my life. Like I'm kind of at the point too right now in my life where I don't want to waste any more time.
Yeah, I understand that 100%. I've been like that the last few years of my life too. Like
wait, you're gonna be 30.
No,
How old are you? 28?
27.
Yeah, don't worry, man. Talk to me in 3 years, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, oh my god, I understand exactly what he's talking about.
No, but I understand. You value your time a lot more. I'm at the point too where I don't waste my time doing shit that doesn't add value to my life. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying, and you got to question. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's good to question. Okay, does this add value to my life, or does this just take away my time? And sometimes things that you think you're doing for a good reason, when you kind of step back and look at it, you're like, you know what? It's just not worth it when you look at it like that. So I think it's good to kind of step back and question your motives sometimes and things you're doing, but you also got to ask yourself, if I'm doing it right now, there's probably a reason why I'm doing it. So then you got to think, okay, maybe when I started, the reason was different than when I'm doing it now. So maybe I've just gotten away from the actual reason I started. So maybe it's not that it's a stupid thing or that it's not worth your time, but maybe the way you're going about it now is not how you intended to finish. You know what I mean? When you started. So maybe you got to get back to what you started.
Which was?
I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about
what kind of advice is this, man? This is terrible advice. That was a Tony Robbins answer.
No, because you're talking about too many different things. You're talking about powerlifting.
The bodybuilding nerd's going to think we're fighting again,
You're talking about, Yeah, listen, after we turn this podcast off, I'm going to come over to your house and I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
The bodybuilding nerds actually put a clip. They talked about us, and they said that sometimes that me and you kind of go at each other, and it makes the listener feel uncomfortable.
Well, he said it
listen,
made
you
him,
fucking snowflake.
Yeah, he said it made him feel
that.
uncomfortable. But
yeah, we're from New York, man. That's how we talk.
That is how we talk, though. Like, so it's funny. If you guys think that me and Anthony are actually getting confrontational, that's like a normal conversation for us. That's just how we talk. I don't know if that's, I guess it's different. Other people are a little more friendly to each other outside of New York. But
yeah, that's what it is, man. Everywhere else, everyone's so friendly. New York, we're just all, thank you, come again.
That's why everybody thinks that we're assholes. But that's just how we talk to each other. It's not personal, guys. Like, if you're from outside of New York and you get that vibe from us, we're not singling you out. That's just how we talk here.
Yeah, exactly. So what else, man? We're gonna keep this podcast rolling. Well, what else is going on? We need So I'm feeling burnt out, and not burnt out. I don't know why I keep saying burnt out. Negative is the right word. I don't want to turn 30. What advice could you give me? What kind of advice? Cheer me up, man. Cheer me up. That's the goal of this podcast.
This is gonna be a therapy session with Big Pete and Anthony over here today. So I gotta figure out First of all, I gotta figure out exactly what's really bothering you, because you threw out like 3 or 4 different things there. But I guarantee you one of them is bothering you more than the others, and you're kind of just throwing the other ones in there on top of it. It's kind of like, I hate my job, and I also hate this, and I also hate this. And
well, actually, you ever watch The Secret? The DVD, The Secret.
Course, yeah.
You ever see like the whole thing when the guy stubs his toe when he gets out of bed in the morning, and then everything else
starts worse because of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that was me, but I didn't stub my toe this morning.
Well, you did something wrong this morning, man.
No, I actually started my day off well.
You didn't realize. You might not have realized it, but you started something off wrong today.
I kind of been feeling it, man. I think it's the birthday thing. I think turning 30.
Think it's the birthday. That's definitely the.
Yeah, man. Because there's a lot of things in my life that I kind of regretted that I didn't do, and then it's just like, God, I'm gonna be 30, and that's like my 20s are done. I'm not a kid anymore. Like I know I wasn't a kid before, but you know what I mean.
So
like
what do you regret?
I kind of regret that I didn't go away to school. I kind of regret that I didn't study something else in school. Kind of regret that I didn't do a lot of things. I don't know. Like sometimes I think about it. Like my ultimate goal when I first started lifting, I just wanted to be 225 pounds and be lean. That was my goal. And then like now, I work really, really hard. I train 6 days a week. I diet well, and I'm like 200 pounds. I'm fairly lean. I would like to be a little bit leaner, but I'm like 225 seems so far away. I could just hop on a cycle of juice and be there in 6 weeks, So it's like sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have just juiced when I was younger, got it over with, went on spring break and did everything, and just lived the Jersey Shore life. Maybe I should have did that, Like I don't know, things like that. Like there was a reason why I did what I did my whole life up to this point, and it's not like I'm questioning all that stuff,
So why don't you just do it now? Why don't you just go on spring break right now?
Because there's no point. No, but I'm saying like, okay, so let's say go back to my original thing with if I took juice right now, what would be the point now? I'm gonna be 30. What's the sense?
Well, then there's no sense in doing it. But if you felt like if you felt like you were gonna get something out of it, then you would get something out of it.
I don't know. That's what I mean. I know I'm not gonna get. Okay, so then I'm 225. Then what?
Exactly.
Like, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. See what's wrong with me?
But
what's wrong with me? What does that
bother
mean?
you? But does that bother you?
That I'm not 225?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean it doesn't bother me that much. I mean I think about it all the time. What makes me sick more is that naturally it's so hard to get there. But in I could do 6 weeks and I could be there.
Yeah, but then what? You're just gonna stop and move on to a new goal? Think about it.
No, I know. I don't know. It's the same thing with powerlifting. But then I can't compete in powerlifting either if I did that. So that's why it's like, that's not plus I can't anyway. I want to have kids and stuff. But still, I don't know.
Let me
like I said, I'm just regretting. I'm just having a hard time with turning 30 because like I said, I feel like I missed out on a lot. I don't know. I'm just negative today. I shouldn't talk. We shouldn't have recorded today, man. I'm going to start crying on the podcast.
That's my goal. My goal by the end of this podcast, I'm going to get Anthony to cry, and it's going to be the greatest podcast in New York Muscle Radio history. But
I'm frustrated too with a lot of things. I talk about this a little bit too, like with work, right? Like I dedicated so much of my life to when I was running a gym, in another person's pocket basically, and I regretted not taking chances then. And it's just like if I would have went a different route then, my life probably would have been different now. I don't know. I feel like the podcast and just the business that we've built, it's good. I'm very happy with it, but I feel like it could be a lot better. I don't know. I'm just frustrated with everything.
Why don't you just do, seriously, this is probably the best advice I could give you. It's not easy, but just think about it for a minute and, just reflect on it for a second. Why don't you just do whatever it is that you think that you should have done or what you want to do instead of worrying about
like a midlife crisis at 30?
Why not just do it and get it out of your system, man? Whatever it is.
Nah, what? All right. So for me, like business, going back to business, like, I don't want to relate this back to juice because everyone's gonna tell me I'm taking juice.
Yeah.
But
fucking roid head over here.
Yeah. No. So all right. So I've always wanted to open up a gym, right?
Yeah.
So if I go and open up a gym right now, what more would I get out of it than what I already have? That's my point. I won't get anything more out of it. So it's like all these things. If I would have done it then, it would have been a huge opportunity, a huge success. If I would do it now, I wouldn't get much more out of it than what I already have.
You
follow?
really think that though?
Yeah, I really do think that. I think that if I would have opened up a gym when I wanted to, way back when, that I would have gotten so much more out of doing it then.
But why would you have gotten more out of it then than you would now?
Because I didn't have what I have now.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is back then you didn't have much, but now you have more. So wouldn't you have ended up technically in the same place?
No, I think I would have been farther because I would have been much more set off. If I would have had a gym then, it would have been successful. It would have been fine. I probably would have been better off than where I am now.
Okay, but I'm saying, so if you opened up a gym right now and you would get that same success that you had back then, wouldn't you be further than where you are now?
Yeah, but at the same token, it wouldn't be worth it right now. I have more responsibilities now. It would be more of a headache. It would be way more stress. Back then, I had nothing. I had nothing. I lived at home. I didn't have to worry about putting food on the table. It's totally different. I can't take that chance now that I didn't.
You know what I think the problem is, and I'm guilty of this myself, so I know you're overthinking everything right now. You're overthinking way too much. You know what overthinking is? You're creating a problem out of nothing. There is no problem right now.
Yeah, man, I'm just going to go back to bed and put the covers over my head.
You're creating a problem and it doesn't even exist, man, because you're saying, oh, if I do this, then this is going to happen. But you don't know if that's
because
going to happen.
it all stems back to being 30, man. I really don't want to. I'm having a really hard time with it. I really am. And I'm sure someone listening to this is having a hard time turning whatever age they're turning also. And there's probably someone who's older than us listening to this, laughing at this right now, saying, oh, I remember when I turned 30, it's not that bad. Because that's all I've been hearing lately. Oh, don't worry, it's not that bad. That's all I've been hearing. No, but it is bad because in 10 more years, I'm going to be 40. Then I'm really done.
Yeah, you're done at 40. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, man, you're creating these worries and anxieties and they're not even there, man. Like over shit that's not even important. So it's like,
I know.
Why don't you just do whatever it is that you want to do? And, do it, because then if you fail, if you fuck up or whatever, then you're not going to worry about it after that. It's like, all right, well, I tried and, I failed. So, I can't sit here and complain.
You can't live your life with regret. That's for sure.
So I'm saying I'd rather, this is just me. I'd rather, if I'm worried that I'm going to do like something I want to do and I'm like, well, this might happen. I'd rather just do it.
Yeah, but
fail.
Okay, so now, so going back to that, it's like, all right, so do I do it? Do I go and open up a gym? It's like, I don't want to. I outweigh it, and I'm like, I don't want to. There's no. For me at this point, there's no point.
But
I don't think I want to.
You regret not opening a gym, right?
I regret doing it then, but I don't regret doing it now. Because right now, hold on. That was in 2005, 2006. Things have changed a lot since then. There's so many more gyms now versus when in 2006 when I was going to do it. In the area that I live in, there's 11 gyms within 5 miles. You know how hard it would be to compete? I'm not saying I'm not ready for the competition, but I can't take that chance and throw money at that and risk not having it. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but
that also you get my point. Like I don't live at home with my mom,
That also
like most of the online coaches that there are out there. You know what I mean?
All these great entrepreneurs that left the the security of their normal jobs to live their lifestyle, but they also live with their moms at home.
Yeah, exactly.
All those guys,
but I don't have that luxury.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. If I was home, I could have taken that risk, and then I would have been much better off because it would have been it was 2006. Fast forward, and of course you always gonna say, well, you're so certain that it would have worked, and I would know it would have worked because, like I said, I'm a worker. I could have dedicated so much more time to it then than I could have now. But still, you get the idea.
I get the idea.
And that's just one example.
I get the idea, man. But what you need to do is just figure out what it is exactly you want to do right now, and then just do it, because then you won't regret it. But figure out now. You're
that's
thinking
the thing
about,
is that I don't
Okay,
want to
so
open up a gym now.
You don't want to
So
open
that's
it up
not-
now, but what do you want to do now then?
I don't know.
So maybe you should think about that.
I don't know what I want to do now. This is the struggle that I've been going on with in my life, man. I don't know.
You know why?
I have no idea.
You know why you don't know what you want to do now? Because you're overthinking all the possibilities. If
Hold
you
on a
didn't
second.
overthink
Hold on
it-
a second. Why is everything on this podcast on me? You never talk about you. I never hear about Pete. It's always me. I'm always the one on the table here.
Because I'm good, man.
When the whole
I'm
thing
good.
happened, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I know. I know. You know, it's always when my job let me go, I was the one on the table. I let everything out. I let everyone see my whole life, and here we are again, back on the table, and I'm letting everyone know how I feel and having a hard time turning 30. Now, you know how many messages I'm gonna get now?
Oh yeah, of course, because your fans love you, man.
Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that, and I love that, and that's what makes me do what I do. So again, guys, if you have any ideas for me to do with my career, you can hit me up on Instagram at ABFitness or on Facebook, Anthony Bevilaqua. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate all the messages I get, and I do answer every single one back. So, no. So, all right. So I know I keep saying the gym thing. I don't want to say the gym thing, but just in general, in my life, if I would have went down, and I always think of this, and I think of it now still. What if it wasn't fitness? What if it was something else? You know, like sometimes I'm like, maybe I should go into a different field. Like not that I'm burnt out by fitness. I don't feel like I am burnt out from fitness. That's like probably the worst way to put it. But I always kind of think of like, what if? I'm not gonna lie. I want to make fucking money. I know I'm gonna be 30 years old. I want to make fucking serious money. I don't want to make it childish money anymore. You know, so it's like maybe I have to just get into a different vehicle in order to do that. I'm not where I want to be financially. It's the same thing. If I'm following a program to squat 600 pounds, and sometimes the program, sometimes you have to take a step back to go forward. But, you know, if the program's not producing the results, I kind of want to change, or it's not producing the results fast enough, you always kind of second guess and say, is there anything else that I could do? Is there anything else I could do? And sometimes I think maybe I could get into another vehicle and get to my financial goals faster. I guess that's what's bothering me too. Because I feel like if I would have opened up a gym then, I would have been financially where I am now then. Sooner. And I probably would have been ahead of where I am now. You follow? Does that make more sense?
Yeah, I got that. But, you know, also you got to look at it like, you know, you're saying, okay, maybe I should have gotten into something else. What's stopping you from doing it now? Like, why
No,
not?
but I don't know no. What's stopping me to do it now is I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but why not just try different shit? Ever
Because
just
I don't want
say,
to waste
like,
time.
you know what?
That's why, because I don't want to waste time.
Yeah,
so,
but-
okay, let's just say real estate, right? I don't want to become a real estate agent because I don't want to deal with people. So,
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm going to cut you up right now. You know, you're worried about wasting time. You know what you're fucking doing right now? You're wasting time fucking worrying about it.
Am I wasting time?
Yeah, because
I'm
you're
not
saying,
wasting time.
all right, real estate, I can't do this. All right,
I'm thinking.
this I can't
you
do
have
this.
to think. I can't just say,
No.
real estate.
You got to start making some fucking decisions and then just following them. And if you fuck
But I don't
up,
know
you fuck up.
But I don't know what decision that is, man.
Just pick one. It doesn't have to be the right one.
What? Okay. So not real estate. What?
All right, let me break this
you
down.
Want me to become a financial guru?
Let me break this
like
down.
Everybody else online?
Let me break this down into language that I can even understand. Okay, when you're single, right, and you're not looking for your wife, right, but you know eventually you're gonna pick a wife, right? Do you analyze every girl before you date her? You say, I want to try this one, then you try this one, then you try this one.
I don't want to settle for a 5 either, man. I want to go out there and bring home a 10. I guess that's
how do you get to it? How do you get to a 10? You do a bunch of 5s first. You're like, all right, let me find a 7. All right, cool. Now let me go. I've got a couple of 7s. Let me get an 8. All right, cool. Let me try a 10.
I know you have to experience different things, but still, like I don't want to waste time with a 5 when a 10 could be out there.
I know, but don't you appreciate the 10 when you've had a lot of 5s?
Yeah, but
and doesn't the 5s prepare you for the 10s?
Well, then if that's the case, then I guess the 8 that I'm in now prepared me for a 10 too, right?
I'm confused with what you're talking about now.
What is my life right now? My life right now. I don't know. This is the analogy you came up with.
Yeah. I was talking about girls. I don't know what you're talking about now.
I don't know, man. Like I just said, you know, I want to make real money. I want to make not baby money. I want to make real money, and I guess I got to find another avenue for that. I don't know. I don't know if I need another avenue. I don't know if there's anything else I could do. I don't know.
Yeah, but how are you going to know? You're going to know because you're going to try, and whatever sticks, it sticks, and what doesn't. You know what I mean? Instead of sitting there thinking about it, that's not going to get you anywhere.
Listen, but you have to think about it in order to take an action because I don't know what action to take.
Just pick one, man. Just pick one.
Shut up 2 minutes there, big guy. Listen, the whole thing with this, too, we started with a YouTube channel. That didn't work.
Exactly.
and we shifted over to the podcast. I don't know what my next shift should be.
Exactly. We didn't want to start a podcast. We didn't want to. That wasn't the goal. It wasn't
I don't even know if we should shift from the podcast. That's my point. And you know what it is too. Another thing that's aggravating me too. Everybody has a fucking podcast now. Everybody has a podcast, and it floods. This is the problem. And this is the problem with the internet. Period. We put out good, solid advice. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there are so many fitness podcasts now because everybody has to do a podcast because it's the thing to do because everybody's a sheep. And these podcasts, dude, are terrible. I listened to one the other day. It was like 8 minutes long about abs, and it was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't even know why I downloaded it, but I download everything, and this is how I learn, and this is how I learn to make my podcast better. This podcast was so horrible. I'm like, but this is why our information gets flooded, gets lost, because there's so much. How does anyone pick it? You know, and the reason why people pick it and move on and, you know, find out about these things is through word of mouth. So that's why you gotta really just reach out and talk to our fans and love our fans, and we do. That's why we give them the free 12-week program, NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/getjacked, JAKKED, free 12-week program for you guys just for listening. And, you know, hopefully they'll tell a friend, and a friend will tell a friend, and that's how it grows. But it's just unbelievable, and that frustrates me too. So I don't know. I'm negative today. Let's not talk about me anymore. Let's talk about you. I'm in a negative place, man. I'm in a negative place in my life right now.
Speaking like such a such a cooler man.
Fuck you with your mental health shit. Seriously, fuck you with your mental health shit. You act like you're never in the gutter.
Oh, I'm fucking always in the gutter, but I just accept it. That's the difference. You know what I mean?
So, and accepting it's a proper way to do it?
You accept it and then you move on. You don't sit there and just dwell over it. It's like, oh, I'm in the gutter. No, it's more like, man, my life's in the fucking gutter. I'll accept it now. What do I do to move on? You know, accept it.
That's how I get through it.
No. You don't want to stay there. You just say, all right, I fucked up. Let me move on. That's it.
I didn't fuck up. I didn't fuck up.
Whatever it is you're feeling, you feel stuck.
I really can't complain right now. Stuck, yes.
You feel
That's
stuck.
The thing. All right, so hold on. I'll back up. I'll complain
He keeps telling me, let's bring this up. Let's talk about you, Pete. Wait, hold on. First, let me tell you something about myself.
You don't shut up. You keep talking about it. No. So hold on. So when I was working at a gym, right? No, shut up and hear me out here. When I was working at the gym, right? I always felt like there was a ceiling and I can never break past it. Never, ever, ever. I always felt like I was stuck at the ceiling. Now, I feel like I broke past the ceiling, but I hit another wall. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's always gonna be a ceiling or an obstacle or whatever it is, but that doesn't mean that you got to stop there.
All right, fucking Tony Robbins. Your advice is terrible.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say.
You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna disconnect from this call. We're going to talk on the phone right after this, and you're going to be like, dude, I fucking agree with you 100%.
I fucking hate this shit too, man. I hit a wall too. Fuck this shit. Let's
not do this anymore. That's exactly what's going to happen, and then I'm going to be like, why didn't you say that on the fucking podcast?
No, man, because I tend to actually believe what I'm saying here. I'm not just saying this because it sounds good. No, what I'm trying to say is, dude, I think I don't think you like to go outside of your norm and your comfort zone too much. And your comfort zone, your norm is fitness and bodybuilding and whatever it is in powerlifting. And I think you feel like maybe there's a lot more out there, which is true. There is a lot more out there besides that.
I'm already so far deep into fitness.
I know. I understand.
I can't, dude. When you're that deep in, man, you can't pull out.
That's true.
You can't pull out, man.
That's true.
You're already in. You're already committed. You can't pull out, man.
That's true. And
you can't pull out. You can't back up from that. You have to stick it in. And
it would be a very bad thing. It would be a waste. It would be a waste.
That's what I mean. So that's my trouble. See, now you understand. See, look, that was the analogy that it took for you to understand what I'm talking about.
No, I understand what you're saying. But you know what? That doesn't mean that you can't just try something different. I think you too. Honestly, I think you're afraid to try something different.
No, dude. Do not put words in my mouth. I'm not afraid to try anything.
I think you're afraid to try something different.
I'm not afraid. I just don't. I'm not afraid. I guess I'm afraid of wasting more time and trying something that isn't going to be successful. So that's what I think I'm afraid of.
I get that because I'm the same.
It's not that I'm afraid to try something else. Because if someone told me, if God Himself, whatever the higher being, whatever you want to call it, if He came down to me tonight in a dream and said, Anthony, listen. If you want to, be successful, you have to sell this rope right here. Well, I'll fucking sell 100 million ropes if I have to, but I don't want to take a guess and say, oh, let me sell this rope. Maybe that's it. I don't want to waste more time doing that because I feel like I don't want to say wasted time with fitness because that's the wrong way, but I feel like fitness only took me a certain amount. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Okay, good. So okay, so now we're on the same page. So now when we hang up, you're gonna be like, dude, I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is the way I look at it. I've wasted so much time in my life too that I don't want to waste anymore. I get it, but I know what I wasted my time on, and I'm always trying to move away from that. So if you're like, all right, not to say that fitness is a waste of your time, but let's just say if we use that as an example, then okay, why would you try to keep pushing it further if it was a waste of your time? You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying.
It's not a waste of my time. Like I said, I'm already deep in. I'm not.
I know, but if you feel like you got as deep in as you can't go any further. You're not big enough. You're not long enough. Whatever.
That hasn't happened.
So, yeah, you've made it all the way to the end every time.
You force it, man. That's how it happens.
Every time.
You gotta warm it up first, man. You can't just shovel it in.
I think that you haven't found a long enough one yet. That's the problem. You need to find a bigger place to go.
I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know where this went. I don't even know if I get what you're saying, man. Let's just move on from this. This is just in the gutter.
All right, so let's talk about burning fat today. What do you want to talk about? Protein, carbs, fat, macros?
Yeah, man. Stop fucking cheating. That's it. Answer solved. Stop cheating.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? I know we're in a negative rant mode, but you know what? Since you brought that up, I'm going to keep this positive, but it's got to be said too. I just want to say, as far as people, if I could put out an inspirational message on this podcast today, I'd say 95% of people. No,
Pete.
Listen to me.
No.
Listen, you negative guy over there.
But I don't want to hear the
negative
Tony
guy
Robbins
over there.
shit, man.
No, this is not Tony Robbins.
You make fun of guys
shit.
like you right
listen,
now. You make fun of guys like
listen. You sit down with
bodybuilding nerds are uncomfortable right now,
your negative vibe. Get that shit off this podcast right now. This is gonna help people. What I'm trying to say is, listen. Some people need to hear this. Listen, Anthony over here, he wants to yell at people and say, "Stop cheating on your diet, asshole." What I'm gonna say this is, 90% of the people that have trouble, that just never get in shape, the reason they don't get in shape is because they are afraid that they're going to be uncomfortable for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, or even one meal. They're afraid of being uncomfortable. They're afraid of being hungry. They're afraid of suffering. And some people just need to just get past that and deal with it. If you need 12 weeks to get in shape, stop worrying about feeling uncomfortable. Stop trying to eat when you're comfortable. Just put in the work and get it done. People are so afraid of being uncomfortable that nobody wants to do it. That's the reason that nobody gets in shape.
Thank you, Pikachu. That you solved the whole fitness problem.
I didn't solve shit. I just told people what they need to hear. If you're having trouble losing weight, I guarantee you.
What did you say in the last podcast? That'll help people for 2 minutes. It'll stroke their mental abilities, and that's it. That's all it'll do. And then they'll go back to doing exactly what they were doing before.
Yeah, but if they sit there and they actually apply what I just said, then they'll get help out of it. But like most people, they'll probably
no one's going to change unless they want to change. Let's put it that way. If you want to do it, you'll do it.
Yeah, but there'll be a few people. There'll be a few people that want to figure out why they're not getting the results they want. And if those people are looking for the answer, they just heard it, so they'll apply it. But 90% of people won't, which I agree with, and that'll probably be a waste of time for a lot of people. But somebody who is looking to actually get in shape and they're just trying to figure out what they're doing wrong, that's what you're doing wrong. You're worried about being in pain, you're worried about suffering, and you just don't want to do it. You just have to accept the fact, okay, listen, if I got to diet, I got to be hungry. I got to work. That's it.
Yep. You solved it, man.
All right, listen, asshole. Go sit down and turn off your Skype. You're not welcome here anymore. Remember, I'm hosting today, so get off my call.
Yeah, get off my call. Yeah, I like when you chuckle at your own jokes.
My jokes are funny, man.
I don't know. All right, man. Let's roll this out. So, guys, if you're still listening to this, I appreciate it. If you guys have any ideas, maybe you guys are turning 30 or have had trouble turning or going through the midlife crisis, I guess, that I'm going through, please let me know. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and I guess maybe you guys, if you guys message me, will cheer me up and help me get past this. I think this is kind of normal, though. I think this is what anyone who's successful kind of goes through in their life. And, so I'm just curious if anybody else is like that. Maybe they have better advice than Tony Robbins on the other end of this call has. But, I appreciate that. And, again, guys, as always, thank you all for listening and supporting us, leaving us reviews, buying our shit. Just in general, just thank you so much. I am so appreciative for you guys, because if it wasn't for you, who knows where I'd be. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you guys enough. And yeah, that's all I want to say. See, that wasn't always so negative.
All right, guys, I appreciate you all tuning in and listening to this episode.
Here he goes. Here he goes. Riding the wave.
I might have to do a disclaimer. Anthony might not be returning to New York Muscle Radio, so this is quite possibly his last episode. If it is, I want you all to wish him a very happy and prosperous future. And hopefully he's successful in whatever endeavor he decides to go into next. But for now, Pete and Anthony, New York Muscle Radio, and we're out.
Enjoyed this episode of New York Muscle Radio? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, New York Muscle Radio.